Welcome to Pro Player Stadium, everyone. On tap today, the 6-5 Denver Broncos, the 7-3 Miami Dolphins. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. Welcome to Miami. Some headline makers in the game today, and for the Miami Dolphins, Jay Fiedler has had his share, hasn't he?
What a surprise, Greg. Jay Fiedler, when you talk to the Denver Broncos, they want to win the game. They know they have to stop Jay Fiedler and the wide receivers of the Miami Dolphins. On the other side, Terrell Davis is back for the Denver Broncos, and just in time, because the wide receivers, the core is depleted. Terrell Davis is back, and for them to win today, he has to have a big game.
Mike Shanahan says his Broncos need 4 of their last 5 games to play. We'll see how he does today. We're coming back after this from your local station. His childhood memories are filled with football Sundays in Miami, watching his father, a Hall of Fame quarterback, lead the Dolphins to win after win for 14 glorious years. Today, for the first time in his pro career, the son returns to South Florida to start. Brian Griese leads a Denver Broncos team decimated by injuries against a Dolphins team eager to prove you can't go home again. The scene is Pro Player Stadium, where today the 7-3 Miami Dolphins play host to the 6-5 Denver Broncos. And with Bob Griese looking on, Brian Griese hopes to knock off his dad's old team and give Denver its first ever win here in Miami. This morning here in the Miami area, and scattered showers are in the forecast, but right now it is a beautiful sunny 76 degrees. Dave Wannstedt, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, 0-2 against the Denver Broncos. On the other side of the field, Mike Shanahan, 1-3 against Miami. No victories here in Florida, the head man for the Denver Broncos. The Dolphins have won the toss, and they will receive. Jason Elam set to kick it away. Deep are Chris Chambers, number 84, to the top of your screen, and Rob Conrad is the other. And we're underway in Miami. This is Chambers from the 6. Hit short of the 25-yard line. And onto the field comes Jay Fiedler. 3 touchdown passes late against the Buffalo Bills last week lifted the Dolphins to a come-from-behind victory in Buffalo.
Jay Fiedler won the game for the Dolphins. And Greg, you know, it's interesting spending the time down here the last couple of days. The Dolphins, times have changed. Dave Wannstedt, we're going to run the football, play good defense. Now they look at it, here they come, coming out in a shotgun formation. It's about the passing game.
They spread the field with 5 wide receivers. Pass to the far side is complete to Lamar Smith.
Miami's offensive line, Tim Ruddy back at center after missing last week. Can they give the protection to Jay Fiedler from all the Bronco blitzes?
In the backfield with Fiedler, Lamar Smith and Rob Conrad, Gadsden and McKnight, terrific wide receivers, and Hunter Goodwin is the tight end. Gained 5 on the play. It's 2nd and 5 as you look at offensive coordinator Chan Gailey for the Dolphins. Smith now deep in the eye behind Fiedler. Quick pass this side to Chambers. Chambers 35-40 and a first down. A look at the Denver defense. Washington, McLaughlin, Trevor Price, Kavika Pittman up front.
The Denver defense has been playing better of late. One of the main reasons the linebackers have been active in the passing game and stopping the run.
In the secondary, Deltha O'Neal, 7 interceptions. That is 2nd best in the National Football League. There's Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator for Denver. Lamar Smith and Deion Dyer quick pass to the far side, and that one comes up way short of James McKnight. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Jay Fiedler, we talked about that engineering, that come from behind victory. The Miami Dolphins have 4 fourth-quarter comebacks among their 7 wins this year.
Well, last week, Greg, the big story was Jay Fiedler, his job's in jeopardy. He needed a good outing against the Buffalo Bills to save his job. Well, he had a great outing last week against the Buffalo Bills. And no matter how he plays today or the rest of the year, Jay Fiedler is going to be the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins.
4 offensive plays, 4 passes coming up. He goes deep, and he has a man open and overthrows him. James McKnight had his man beaten down the sideline. It'll be 3rd and 10.
One thing Jay Fiedler and the Miami Dolphins offense is going to see today, they are going to see a lot of blitzes. Here comes a blitzer from the outside against Fiedler. He sees it. It's Eric Brown. Early in the game, just overthrows an open receiver down the field, James McKnight. But the Broncos defense will show blitzes all day long, except in situations like this where they might drop 9 people back in pass coverage.
3rd and 10. Pass, batted down and almost intercepted. Delta O'Neal figures he should have had it.
Well, Delta O'Neal was a blitzer or a pass rusher. There's so much going on with this Bronco defense. He's going to come to Jay Fiedler's right, knocks it down. Defensive lineman dropping back in pass. Look at Trevor Price at the bottom of your screen. Defensive lineman trying to get back there. That's what the Broncos do. They change it up every single play, try to confuse you, make you turn the football over.
Matt Turk lofts one up high. Delta O'Neal, fair catch called for and made at the 19-yard line. So 13-17 to play in the first quarter, and Miami on offense when we come back. Miami crowd getting a little bit excited here as they exhort their defense. Brian Greasy on the field. His 19 touchdown passes, 3rd most in the National Football League. Terrell Davis back in action. They play fake to him. The pass to the far side of the field is complete to Desmond Clark. And Clark, 30, 35, 40, out to about the 43 or 44-yard line, and we have a flag down. Johnny Greer is our referee.
Tripping.
Tripping, number 66, offense. Still 1st down.
That's the center, Tom Nalen. So instead of a huge gain, the ball is backed up inside the 10-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 19. Look at Zach Thomas, who captains that defense of the Miami Dolphins. Greasy looking for running room across the 15 to about the 17 or 18-yard line.
Well, let's take a look at Denver's offensive line. It is healthier. Lenny Freeman back in the lineup today. They've got to do a good job of blocking for the run in Terrell Davis.
Terrell Davis making his 4th game of the year. He's missed 32 of his last 40 games. Chris Cole and Kevin Casper at the wide receiver spots because of injury, and Dwayne Carswell, the tight end. Gary Kubiak calling Denver's offensive plays from the sideline. 2nd and 10. Comes the blitz, and the give is to Davis up the middle. Davis across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Miami's defense looks like this. On the outside, defensive ends are Mixon and Taylor. Jermaine Haley starts alongside Tim Bowens in the middle.
Miami linebackers last week against Buffalo, they missed way too many tackles. Need a good job of tackling today against Terrell Davis.
In the secondary, Terry Cousins starts for still injured Sam Madison. Brian Walker returns to the lineup after missing several games with the broken thumb. Defensive coordinator Jim Bates from on high. 3rd and 2. Greasy, quick pass. That is complete across the 30 to the 32-yard line to Scotty Montgomery, the second-year man out of Duke.
What a catch by Scotty Montgomery. Brian Greasy reads the defense quick and fires it into the back shoulder. Montgomery turns and makes a nice catch, and I think, Greg, with the receiving core today, the wide receivers, they have 8 catches between them for the season.
Scotty Montgomery made his 4th of the year just there. The give is to Davis. And Davis, or rather make it Mike Anderson. Excuse me, Mike Anderson. Mike Shanahan told us last night that Terrell Davis was not going to play consistently. He'd be in for 4, 5, 6 plays and then be spelled by Anderson.
Well, that's smart. Keep Terrell Davis rested, because when you're a running back and you're rested, your chances of getting hurt are a lot less. And Terrell Davis has been out, so you want to break him in slowly, especially against a good defense and in the heat in Miami.
Davis back into the lineup now on 2nd and 10. And he gets the handoff left side to about the 33. And Zach Thomas in on the stop.
Well, Zach Thomas, Dave Wanstead even said last week, he missed a few tackles. And one thing he prides himself in doing is being a sure tackler, takes on the block, and then gets in on the tackle.
In fact, Dave Wanstead said he has a good tackling team, and last week they missed about 15 tackles, and so he ran them through drills again for part of this week.
He hopes it was a good wake-up call, and they'll get back to doing their techniques right.
3rd and 9. Greasy over the middle, has his man Karan Coleman out of the backfield, and that's a 1st down.
Well, that's what you're going to see today from this Denver offense. It used to be Ed McCaffrey and Rod Smith on the outside. Everything was designed for them. They're gone. The wide receiving core very inexperienced, so you're going to see a lot of different formations, screens to the tight end, and in situations like we just had there, 3rd down, they're going to throw it to the backs, to the receivers inside, work on the Miami linebackers.
1st down Broncos at their own 43. Terrell Davis stumbled in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, 2nd and 12.
Well, you look at this Denver offense, Greg, and it's kind of funny how things turn around. We used to talk to Mike Shanahan years past, well, we'll score over 30 this game. And this year he says, hey, I'm just trying to find a way to get us 20 points. Because I've already told our defense, you can't give up more than 17 if you want us to win. So times have changed for him. For his quarterback, Brian Greasy, he's got to manage the clock and do things differently and just try to wear the game down a little and score points when you give him that opportunity.
This is Coleman. And penalty marker flies as Coleman pulls his way across the 45 to about the 46 or 7-yard line. And it's going to be a hold against Denver.
Holding, 64, offense, still 2nd down.
That's left guard Lenny Friedman.
Now let's go back to this Denver offense against this Miami defense today. And it only makes sense that they're going to throw the football to the back and to the tight ends, because the wide receivers, you've talked about how inexperienced they are. They have so few catches between them. And one of the strengths of this Dolphin team is their corners. And what Mike Shanahan said, he goes, hey, even my regular guys was in there, we'd have a hard time throwing against these corners. So different game plan, different way of trying to score some points.
2nd and 22. Greasy with time down the middle. It is popped into the air and incomplete. Dwayne Carswell, the tight end, was the intended receiver.
Was that the first bopped in the air of the year? Did you say that?
I believe it could
I
be.
think you have a little
And if you
bop.
take a look, I believe it was bopped in the air.
You think you're a rapper now. But it's Brock Marion just seeing the quarterback. Brian Greasy waited a long time to throw this football down the middle. And when you're playing the Dolphins, if you wait too long to throw it down the middle, you're going to get both safeties involved.
So that was Brock Marion. 3rd and very long. Greasy throws to Coleman out of the backfield. Dances his way close to the 40-yard line, well short of the 1st down. Patrick Surtain with the stop. And so onto the field for Denver will come Tom Ruin, the number 3 punter in the NFL, with a 46.6-yard average. That's Jeff Ogden deep along with Dedrick Ward. Oh, what a kick. Ogden all the way back to close to the 25-yard line. We have 6 minutes and 47 seconds to play here in the first quarter of a scoreless game in Miami. 6:47 to play in the first quarter. Special teams is not always fun, is it?
Well, Ian Gold, number 52 of the Broncos, he is the guy to look at when you're playing this team, and I'd say he got some attention of the Dolphins this week.
From the 25-yard line, Fiedler and the Dolphins go back to work.
I'm sorry, if you make a lot of tackles on special teams, Greg, they double team you.
First running play of the day for the Dolphins, Lamar Smith. And Smith breaks across the 30, still fighting out to the 39 and 40-yard, 35-yard line, and it's a first down. And we go to Armin.
Greg, you mentioned confidence with Jay Fiedler. It's safe to say that confidence when both the coaching staff and the players was shaken a little bit a couple of weeks ago after that 3-interception game against the New York Jets. Support described as fragile for the quarterback, but Dave Wannstedt telling us on Friday, Jay Fiedler behind closed doors knew just how important that Buffalo game was last week, and because he played so well, the team has regained the confidence in their quarterback. Back to you.
Thanks, Armin. Fiedler going to give the ball to Smith for a second straight time, and Smith out to about the 38-yard line, and Lamar still seeing those headlines and those articles on his yards per carry average, which is at 2.3 over the last 6 games. And Dave Wannstedt, it was really interesting when he said we have to run the ball more, and you know we questioned him about, does it mean you have to run the ball well? Not necessarily, we just want to run the ball more.
Just keep running it. And Lamar Smith, the one thing that's disappointing to this Miami coaching staff and team is last year he attacked defenders and got extra yards. This year he's not doing that.
On 2nd and 7, pass to this side. What a fine catch by Aronde Gadsden. That is still short of a first down, and it'll be 3rd down.
Remember I talked to Jay Fiedler on Friday. I said, isn't it great to drop back and throw one that just gets away from you? And you got big receivers, and they still catch it. And he started laughing. I said, yeah, you throw it, and you go, oh, nice catch. And that was one of those. Threw it high. Aronde Gadsden, hey, no big deal. Routine for a big, tall, and a physical receiver who makes those catches without much effort.
And he's got a couple of them in Gadsden and James McKnight and Chris Chambers. 5 wide now on 3rd and 1.
Draw.
Fiedler pulls it down, dives, and makes the first down across the 45.
I know I called it a little late, but look, you got 5 wide receivers, and this third less than a yard. I know Chan Gailey and Dave Wannstedt are going to run this football. Now the Broncos only brushing 4. Nice job by Jay Fiedler waiting for the tackles to cross each other, sees the hole up the middle and gets the yard for the first down. But I was going to say the Broncos on 3rd downs today will have a defender who will mirror Jay Fiedler, stay in front of him the whole time, so if he does run, they'll be there to tackle him.
Smith and Conrad in the backfield on 1st down. The pitch for Lamar Smith. Coming around the left side, and a penalty marker comes flying from deep out of the Denver secondary. Personal foul is going to go against the Dolphins.
That means I would think one of the wide receivers.
Personal foul. Crackback. Number 80. Offense. Still first down.
James McKnight.
When you're outside the formation from tackle to tackle, you cannot go back inside and block below the waist.
Well, Dave Wannstedt disagreeing. It's an argument he's not going to win, and his Dolphins are looking at 1st and 25.
You know, Greg, I'm getting a kick out of watching this Bronco defense because I don't know if I can sit here and even describe what they're going to do to them and say, hey, there's another mess on the right side, and see how Miami deals with it. Because they move around a lot.
The penalty will be attacked in the middle line.
Well, Johnny Greer clarifying things, probably for Dave Wannstedt more than anyone else.
It's going to save him a yard, I think.
And now he's going to come over and explain it. Or
I think he's going to
look at the replay.
Yes, he's going to have to make sure of the spot of the ball before they mark off the penalty. He can't find it. Nope, he's just going to call. I'm sorry. But, you know, just going back to the Bronco defense, Greg, they got to do so many different things. They got to not trick it up, but change it up week to week. We heard it from Jay Fiedler, from Dave Wanstead. They just can't believe the number of things they do. And why do they do that? They don't have a dominant play over there where they can count on, like, a defensive lineman getting a consistent pass rush. Trevor Price is the only defensive lineman that could probably do that. So to pressure the passer, they got to do different things.
And you alluded to it earlier, Phil, that the Broncos just aren't going to put a ton of points on the board as they have in years past. They have to do everything they possibly can on the defensive side of the ball just to keep things in check.
I don't know. We've done over the 4 years we have worked together probably 25 Bronco games. I guess, just guessing. I've never heard them one time say to us or to me, we need turnovers to win this game. So that tells you what they're thinking, what they know about their football team, and that's why you have to take chances and be aggressive on defense when you're like that.
Well, we have no idea at this point what Johnny Greer is inquiring about. The play only gained a yard, so it's only going to be a 1 yard difference.
The penalty's called on James McKnight, number 80. See if he can come from the inside. Yes, he absolutely went down. I can see where they threw the flag, and now they're trying to find the spot. Watch the left of your screen. Wide receiver go low. Boom. And let's see where Lamar Smith falls down. 48.
Well, you know, everybody's on the phone down there.
Well, let's take a look at the crackback again. James McKnight, number 80. Bottom of your screen, go slow. You are not allowed to do that. That defender is in the area from tackle to tackle. You cannot go below the waist to blocking. And it's a good rule. Otherwise, they'd all be, you'd have that head on a spin all the time.
Well, as we said, we have no definition. This could be a lunch order.
Well, this is quality time. I like this with you. We're going to stand here and look at each other.
We don't see enough of each other during the football season.
Here we go.
Johnny Greer going to take up some sort of a central position? No, I don't think he's going to explain it. He's just going to do it. So it's a 1st and 25 with the line of scrimmage now the 32.
And Greg, what he was trying to find out just where the ball was spotted. And once that was determined, mark off the penalty.
3:50 to play in a scoreless first quarter. Travis Minor, the lone back behind Fiedler on 1st and 25. Quick pass, far side. That's McKnight. And McKnight brought to a stop at the 38-yard line after a 7-yard gain. Eric Brown, Jimmy Spencer.
You know, now we've talked about this Denver blitz and what their defense likes to do and all the different things they're going to show the Miami offense. But Miami, I think Miami is one of the better teams in the National Football League in picking up those blitzes. Chan Gailey prides himself in the fact that he knows how to protect this quarterback no matter what you do on defense. So sooner or later today, Jay Fiedler's going to get about 2-3 opportunities for big pass plays and touchdowns.
And shovel pass. And Lamar Smith fighting his way close to midfield, comes to a stop at the 49-yard line.
That's really nice execution by the Dolphins. Fiedler drops back. Everybody thinks it's a drop back pass, so the defense retreats. And now look at the room between him and the linebackers and how long it takes everybody to come up and make a hit on him.
And not much of a rush at all from the Denver front line on that play.
Well, we're seeing an array of screens and different looking plays so far from the Dolphins, and they're giving back to the Broncos what the Broncos are giving them. Little taste of their own medicine. Just keep changing things up.
Fiedler now on 3rd and 7 out of the shotgun. Fiedler throw. That's complete inside the 45 to the 43. Here's Dedrick Ward. That'll be enough for a first down.
Delphine O'Neal, number 24, on the blitz, jumped off sides.
Offside. 24. Defense. It's declined. First down.
Bottom of your screen, Delphine O'Neal, number 24. Good job by Jay Fiedler going on the third hut instead of the second one, which he usually does. And Dedrick Ward runs down the field. He had a route on where he could run in, out, or stop. Read the defense right and hooked it up.
Ninth play of this drive upcoming. Minute 50 to play in the first quarter. Comes another blitz. Fiedler going to go deep. Far side of the field. It is incomplete. And a fine job defensively by Delphine O'Neal. Chris Chambers was the intended receiver.
Well, Jay Fiedler lays it up for Chris Chambers. And watch Chris Chambers. I was watching it in live action. He has got speed, and he just keeps pulling away from Delphine O'Neal. And at the last second, good timing by Delphine O'Neal to knock it down.
How many times this season?
Personal foul. Chop block. Number 61. Offense. Still first down.
That's Tim Ruddy.
Well, Tim Ruddy, a chop block means that one of his teammates, one of the linemen, were blocking one of the defensive linemen on the pass rush. Let's see if we can pick it out. There's Tim Ruddy. Oh, the Mobley was engaged by Todd Perry, and Tim Ruddy is not allowed to come down and hit him once a pass rusher is engaged by another pass protector.
Blitz again, the pass out here to Smith. And Smith with running room. Midfield, ducks back inside, and is down at about the 41-yard line. As many defenses as the Broncos are throwing at him, the Dolphins are mixing it up on offense.
Well, the Dolphins are just saying, keep on coming to us. We'll let you get to the quarterback. But every time they're doing it, they have a screen or a quick pass on, and it's allowing the runners and the pass receivers to get out in space.
That picked up 15, and it's 2nd and 10. And Lamar Smith, active in the receiving game today, has 3 catches for 31 yards. The give is to Smith, and Smith is tripped up and is down at the 42-yard line. Chester McLaughlin with a hand on.
I was going to say, Greg, the way the Dolphins are going and committing penalties, they're going to have to gain about 150 yards to score in this drive, but they're overcoming a lot of mistakes. And of course, sometimes those mistakes are caused by the fact that you're playing a defense that's doing things you have not seen in the past few weeks.
Well, let's see what Ray Rhodes does here on 3rd and 11.
I'm waiting for that 9 defensive players back in pass coverage. This is not it.
Quick pass out to this side to McKnight, and McKnight just across the 40-yard line. That won't be enough for a first down. And that play will take us to the end of the first quarter. Some movement of the football up and down the field. No points on the scoreboard. We go to the second quarter here at Pro Player Stadium. Denver and Miami scoreless. Matt Turk, who had a terrific day a week ago in Buffalo kicking the football, had one punt go for 77 yards.
You know why, don't you? It's a new body he's got. He's lost about 30 pounds. He's looking trim. That happens when you come down to Florida. All that sunshine, you can't wear all those clothes. You got to look good. You would know about that, wouldn't you?
That's right. He's going to get this one away from about midfield. And O'Neal standing down at his own 10.
Well, look how he does look a lot trimmer than he was last year.
And they want to back it up about 5 yards.
Now, punters, they love this. Back it up. Keep my average up. You know, I'm telling you, it's exactly what they're thinking, too. Let's take like 4 delay a game so they can really get a big one.
Let's see if the Broncos refuse it.
Yeah.
They are going to refuse it.
Delay. Offense. It's declined. Still 4th down.
You know, we could be here a while with this. A little delay of game.
I would think this would be easier, though, to punt it inside the 20, of course, the closer you are.
Fair catch call for. And the catch down there is made by Ray Green of the Dolphins. Pretty good defensive field position for the Dolphins when we come back.
A diamond is forever. Show her how much you love her this Christmas.
Cuban sandwiches being made by the bunches. We welcome back to Miami. There's Brian Greasy. And up top, Dad. One of the great Miami Dolphins. Terrell Davis, 3 carries, 7 yards so far. Gets the handoff here. And gets out to about the 9, almost the 10-yard line. Jermaine Haley with the stop after a 4-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd and 6. And Terrell Davis, you would think there would be nothing better for Mike Shanahan's eyes than for Terrell Davis to get something going offensively for Denver.
Well, Terrell Davis, Greg, you were giving me the rundown before the game. In the last couple years, all the injuries he has suffered, time missed, coming back, and just mentally for him, it's going to be good if he gets off to a good start.
Greasy to throw, and that's complete to number 84, Chris Cole. And Cole across the 20 to the 22-yard line for a 1st down.
Anytime the Denver Broncos complete a pass to a wide receiver, that's like a bonus, because they're not going to try that many of them today, and most of them will be that. The receivers running across the field. Mike Shanahan said you got inexperienced receivers running down the field or towards the sideline against the corners of the Dolphins. You're just asking for trouble.
Sam Madison still recovering from the separated shoulder. Terry Cousins starting in his place today. Greasy to throw on 1st down. Down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Out at the 45-yard line, Scotty Montgomery, his intended receiver.
Well, this formation looks like one of the plays where the Broncos are trying to create a big pass play down the field, but 2 defenders again in the middle, Zach Thomas underneath, and Brian Walker, the safety, back for this game, deep behind the receiver.
That was very close to being a completion.
And an interception.
2nd and 10. Greasy flips it out here to Davis. Eludes 1 tackler. Can't elude the 2nd. Down at the 20-yard line. For our first check of what's happening around the league today. Jim Nance in New York.
All right, thanks, Greg. A little update from Cleveland. The Browns had allowed only 9 first-quarter points on the season. They've yielded 14 today to the Titans. An Eddie George touchdown run, and Derek Mason, 43 yards from McNair. 14-0 Tennessee. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim. Coming up on 13 minutes to play. Sorry, Phil.
I'm sorry, Greg, but Tennessee's passing game has come to life here in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
3rd and 11 as this Denver crowd, or this Miami crowd, comes to life. Greasy, incomplete, right through the hands of Karan Coleman.
And they had what they wanted. Coleman against Zach Thomas. He is open, and with an accurate throw, he's going to have a chance to catch it and go for the 1st down. Zach Thomas way off of Coleman. Pass thrown a little behind.
Coleman, the 3rd back for Denver, with the Broncos having lost Olandis Gary to the broken leg. Thanksgiving Day. Oh, kicks. This is Dedrick Ward from the 43. Sidesteps a tackler and is out of bounds across midfield. Pretty good field position for Jay Fiedler right after this. Coming up on the Nextel halftime report, Jim, Mike, Randy, Jerry scores, highlights, the latest NFL news, all coming up on the Nextel halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan from Pro Player Stadium. 12:33 to play in the 1st half, and Miami has had the advantage. The field position. Turk has punted twice, both times pinned the Broncos inside their own 20-yard line. Here's Lamar Smith for about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, the one thing the Denver Broncos do on defense now, the running game, they just attack it. They're going to. Their main goal is, we are going to stop your running game. If you want to beat us, you're going to have to throw the football. Bill Romanowski on the sideline. Ian Gold, number 52, comes in and spells him from time to time. Ian Gold is fast, active, second-year player from Michigan.
Play fake this time. Fiedler pulls it down, scrambles, tries to take off, dives forward to the 45-yard line, and for the second straight play, Monty Rager makes the tackle. 1-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd and 8.
Nice recovery by Rager. He was faked out to his left and then actually got off the block and came back and still made the tackle on Jay Fiedler.
You know, you're talking about the lack or trying to get a running game going. And we talked about the problems that the offensive line of the Broncos has had. This Miami offensive line has its share of trauma this season. 3rd and 8.
It's not always the running back when you're not running it. A lot of times it's the offensive line.
Fiedler throws this side to the 40-yard line, intended for McKnight, and it's incomplete.
Bill Romanowski pressuring the quarterback again. Another blitz. Not really a blitz, because only 4 people were coming, but they all come from the same side, and it's very hard for Miami to block it. Look at Romanowski. Overpowers the running back, hits Fiedler's arm, makes the ball go offline.
So Turk again kicking it away. This one not a very well kicked ball at all, and bounces out of bounds before it reaches the 20-yard line. 10:50 on CBS. Max Bickford is the Vince Lombardi of college professors. But he's about to face his toughest opponent, his son's elementary school class. Don't miss an all-new education of Max Bickford tonight on CBS.
Man, that's the music to go with Max.
Brian Griese's numbers on the day. 5 out of 8 for 34 yards. Dave Wanstead saying among all the other problems that Denver brings to town that his special teams would have to do a good job today. And he has won the field position battle at least so far. Terrell Davis kicks it outside. 30. And run out of bounds at about the 33 or 34-yard line by Terry Cousins. We check in with Armin.
Greg, clearly this has been a stressful season for Brian Griese with all the injuries to his offense and really questions about his own productivity. So he used that little mini break after Thanksgiving to kind of clear his head. He said he went up to the mountains of Colorado, relaxed for a few days, spent last Sunday just sitting around, didn't watch any football at all, and he said he came back refreshed, relaxed, and ready for this stretch run. Back to you.
Well, I would too. Thanks, Armin. Here's Terrell Davis, and Davis breaks through across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Indianapolis and Baltimore, big game there. Here's Jim Nance.
All right, Greg, hot start for Elvis Gerback, 8 of his first 9, and this little toss to Ayan Badejo. And the Ravens lead at 10-3 over the Colts. Second quarter, let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim. Be an interesting scenario there, how Peyton Manning performs, how Jim Mora reacts. Under 10 minutes to play here in the first half. First down, Denver. And Davis again to the right side, midfield to the 45-yard line. 14 yards, and that cut to the right was shades of the Terrell Davis that we know from years past.
Yeah, there's a difference when Terrell Davis comes into the game. This time, Miami crowds the line of scrimmage. They want to stop the running game, but he sees that little opening to the right, cuts it back. Yes, he looks okay, but it's not quite the old Terrell Davis, but it's a good start for him.
30 yards in his last 3 carries as he takes a breather on the sideline. Mike Anderson on to replace him. Griese gives to Anderson, and Anderson tries the right side inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. And we have a Bronco on the ground. And that's Lenny Friedman, number 64. Friedman is replacing Steve Herndon, who was injured last week and is out of action. And we'll check on Lenny Friedman after we take a timeout and come right back to Pro Player Stadium. Lenny Friedman, working a little bit on the sideline, has been replaced by David Diaz-Infante. On this drive, 4 rushes by the Bronco offense for 37 yards. Here's another one. This is Tony Carter. And Carter just inside the 35-yard line, but it's enough for a first down.
Tim Bowens is getting double teamed almost every single play, but that time splits the double team and still makes the tackle. Watch number 95. Two blockers on him, falls off and gets the tackle.
We were talking with Tim the other day about how he's missing his running mate at tackle, Daryl Gardner, and said, well, how is it? He says it's a lot quieter out there without Daryl.
Daryl's the talker, but also it means with Daryl Gardner out, he's going to get double teamed almost every single running play.
Terrell Davis trying to pick his hole, gets to about the 31.
Now, you know, when even defensive linemen, we asked Tim Bowens, I said, you know, Terrell Davis, he's been out, he might be coming back. And it was interesting, he goes, yeah, that's a great motivating factor to know that you're going to get to play against Terrell Davis, because he has done that before, and he goes, he is special. And they know that when Terrell's in the game, that he's capable of taking a handoff and making a big play or scoring a touchdown.
Tim Bowens said Terrell Davis has that one initial step to the opening that all the great backs have. Greasy to throw. On the move, looking downfield, eludes the tackler, diving for a first down, but he stepped out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Fine play by Brian Greasy.
Good job by the Dolphins defensive backs. Nobody really ever comes open for him to throw it down the field after he scrambles. Jason Taylor came inside, forces him out. Look, nobody open down the field. Patrick Surtain goes for the fake. Nothing worse than getting faked out by a quarterback, especially a quarterback who most players believe is not that much of a scrambler.
Greasy picked up 4, and it's a 3rd and 3. This is the deepest penetration by either offense today. Mike Anderson in the backfield. Quick drop, quick pass, incomplete. Derek Rogers was there.
The timing, the execution is just not going to be as good when you're throwing to receivers who are not used to running these routes. Dominguez, it's 3rd and 3. Way too long to look for the football. Greasy kept looking, finally couldn't wait any longer, and that's why the throw was off target.
This will be a 45-yard field goal attempt by Jason Elam, the AFC Special Teams Player of the Month for November. He has hit 2 50-yarders this season. Gets this one away, and it's good. First points of the day at 7:01 to play in the second half. Elam and the Broncos on top by 3. We welcome you back to South Florida. A look at Denver's scoring drive to net the Jason Elam 45-yard field goal. And all 49 yards of that drive were on the ground. Here's Chris Chambers. 25. Boy, what a head of steam he had. Tripped up at the 35, forward to about the 37-yard line. Keith Burns made the tackle after a 28-yard. Keyword NFL.com. First down from 37-yard line for Jay Fiedler and the Dolphins. Fiedler with the drop, going to go deep down the far sideline, and it's incomplete. Pass intended for Oronde Gadsden. As you and I were talking during the timeout, Phil, you have to wonder how long it's going to take for the Dolphins to really begin to get Chris Chambers involved, since he's been so integral in the success of the Dolphins this season.
Especially when it comes to throwing footballs down the field, Greg, and we hear it from defenders, and the Dolphins themselves talk about it, that Chris Chambers has turned into an aggressive offensive player, attacks the football, attacks the defender, and
Lamar Smith alone back behind Fiedler. Fiedler on the move, throws this side, out of bounds. Intended for Chambers.
Well, they're trying to get the football to him. That time, nice route by Chris Chambers. He gets open, but Jay Fiedler on the run makes it a little difficult to be completely accurate, and nope, neither foot gets down.
So Fiedler 0 for his last 3, but you're right, everyone in complete and total praise of Chambers. Dave Wanstead saying, I don't think he knows how good he can be in this league.
You don't want him to, because then you have to really pay him.
On 3rd and 10. Delta O'Neal on the blitz from the near side, pass down the field. It is incomplete, intended for Dedrick Ward.
This is, you know, the fans are booing here, but the Broncos defense is just throwing so many looks in different coverages. It's hard for a quarterback and receivers to decide what they're going to do. So it's just going to take the Dolphins some time, and if they figure it out, they're going to get those chances.
Phil, Jay Fiedler told us on Friday he went back and looked at the last 5 Denver games, and they ran different defenses in each of those games.
They game plan for the team they're going to play and change it up all accordingly.
O'Neal lets it bounce, kicks it up on the run, tries to turn the corner, and is down to the 23, and we have flags down, back up the field. And that's Detron Smith pushing and shoving with Scott Gallion. Johnny Greer's initial indication is that it's going to go against the Denver Broncos.
Holding receiving team during the kick. Denver will keep the ball after assessment of his penalty.
And Mike Shanahan kind of echoing what we want to know. What number? So Johnny Greer explaining it. Mike Shanahan not buying it. But this will back the Broncos up to their own 8-yard line. So we'll take the timeout with 6:23 to play in the first half. 3-0 Broncos.
And by Smirnoff Ice, intelligent nightlife.
6:23 to play here in the first half, and in this quarter the Miami Dolphins have failed to convert a first down. Terrell Davis lost the football. Appeared to fall on it at the 9.
Recovered by number 30.
Greg, I wanted to say the way this game is going, it's making first downs looks really difficult by either team. Brian Greasy runs into the fullback. That creates a problem when he hands it off to Terrell Davis. Hits Tony Carter first. But turnovers, that's almost now you have to put your mindset as a quarterback in. Just don't make a mistake. If the play just comes wide open, you take advantage of it. Otherwise,
penalty markers fly on the snap. And out across the 15 to the 16-yard line is Davis.
I was going to say, otherwise you let your defense keep doing what it's doing.
That's a 7-yard pickup on the carry.
Oh, here we go. Do you take the penalty? Or
Sure you do.
You do. Well, think about it. Just don't blurt it out.
Do you want 2nd and 6 or 3rd and 4?
Offside. 79. Defense. Still second down.
I'm still thinking. All right, you're right.
Mike Shanahan has made his decision. Line of scrimmage is the 14-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 6. Each team penalized 3 times today in a slow-moving first half. Greasy going to come deep down the sideline. It is incomplete, out of bounds, intended for Chris Cole, who almost went up and made the grab. Terry Cousin was right along with it.
Terry Cousin making the start today instead of the first-round draft pick, Jamar Fletcher, for a couple of reasons. One is just more experience. 2, just more physical as a veteran corner over Jamar Fletcher. That time, good throw by Brian Greasy, but he just attacks it when he sees Chris Cole's hands goes up and knocks it down.
Terry Cousin in his 5th season out of South Carolina. 3rd and 6. Greasy needs the 20-yard line for a first down. He throws as he goes down. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Scotty Montgomery, number 83, and David Bowens, number 96, was in there giving him a tough time.
We saw David Bowens last week just hustling around on defense, but we also saw him, Greg, on special teams. Defensive lineman is on the kickoff team. So if the Dolphins ever score, we're going to show him running down on the kickoff.
He impressed the coach. Ogden and Ward deep. Rowan gets it away. Nice kick, floats it all the way to the 31-yard line. Here's Dedrick Ward. And Ward goes down at the 31. Tonight, CBS and the Jim Henson Company present a television event of gigantic proportions. It's a magical tale with a modern-day twist. Don't miss Matthew Modine and an all-star cast in Jack and the Beanstalk, the real story, Phil, tonight on CBS. Not that fake story that you grew up with. This would be the real one.
Oh, really? Do you know it?
By heart. Chris Chambers walking along the sideline. Lamar Smith, Deion Dyer. This is Smith. Cuts it back inside across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Check in with Armin.
Greg, regarding Chris Chambers, one of the assistant trainers really spent about the last 5 minutes working on his left hamstring. I'm told they're going to see how it goes, but obviously right now he is not in the game. Back to you.
All right, Armin, thanks. 2 touchdown catches against Buffalo last week for Chambers. 3 of his 4 touchdown catches on the season have come in the fourth quarter. On 2nd and 5, Travis Minor spin and goes down at about the 39. And a gain of 2 will make it 3rd and 3. We're talking about Chris Chambers. He came up big in the fourth quarter at Buffalo last week.
When the game is on the line and you're the quarterback, you are going to look for the receiver that gives you the best chance to make those big plays, and that's Chris Chambers.
78 yards in the fourth quarter alone. But he's on the sideline now. 3rd and 3. Fiedler pulls it down. Scrambles, looks, throws over the middle, and finds his man. James McKnight to the 40 and a first down. What a fine job by Jay Fiedler.
Boy, it really was, Greg, and that just goes, that play illustrates why the Denver Broncos blitz so much. Jay Fiedler pumps, moves around, resets, and still has nobody around him as he throws the football down the field. And to get pressure on the quarterback, they have to send extra defenders to get there. Watch Arondé Gadsden. That's it. Raise your arms. That way you might catch the attention of the quarterback.
Give us to Minor. Minor around the left side and dragged down from behind by Kavika Pittman. That pass completion to McKnight was a 21-yarder. Until that point, neither team had completed a pass for more than 15 yards. Clock continues to move, coming up on 2.5 to play here in the first half.
Well, I thought when we came into this game today, Greg, that the Dolphins would be much more pass-oriented and then try to run the ball every once in a while to catch the Denver Broncos defense off guard. They started out throwing a lot of short passes, 10 rushes, 16 passes, but neither one has really made enough. They haven't made those big plays to really open the offense up.
Dedrick Ward on the receiving end, inside the 40 to the 36-yard line. Jimmy Spencer with the stop, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Denver with the lead, Miami on the move. Up on the Nextel halftime report, Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry have the scores, the highlights, the latest NFL news. That all comes up on the Nextel halftime report. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. Chris Chambers is back onto the field for Miami. Line of scrimmage is the 40-yard line, 3rd and 5. Or the 35-yard line, excuse me. Fiedler, quick pass this side, complete to Smith. And Smith lost the football. Broncos have it. Eric Brown recovered the fumble.
Fumble recovered by number 26.
When you play the Miami Dolphins offense, they throw so many short passes and screens in these type of situations. The defense does a good job being ready for it and reacting to it. John Mobley, 51, comes in, makes the hit, pulls the football away from Lamar Smith.
Coming into the action today, Miami had lost an AFC high 12 fumbles, make it 13. So the Broncos take over at their own 30-yard line, 31-yard line. Terrell Davis in the backfield. Greasy to throw. That's complete, and the penalty marker flies. Kevin Casper on the receiving end. And the marker stops the clock with 1:46 to play. Interference against the Broncos.
Pass interference. Number 82, offense. Still first down.
That would be the rookie, Kevin Casper.
Kevin Casper on the outside against Terry Cousin. When he extended the arms, Terry Cousin already had position settled. The receiver comes into him, pushes his arms out. Easy call.
Again, the Broncos missing Rod Smith, sprained ankles. Ed McCaffrey, broken leg from early on. Terrell Davis looks for running room and gets to about the 23-yard line where Jermaine Haley makes the stop.
Well, it used to be the Broncos are getting a situation like this. They're thinking, hey, we can go down the field, a 2-minute drill, and get some points. There's Rod Smith on the sideline. But now they're thinking, well, is there any way we can run the clock out and get to halftime? Of course, I'm just kidding, but
Partly
is right. It's just hard for them to really challenge the field vertically.
Greasy throws, overthrows his intended receiver, Chris Cole, coming across the middle.
And that's how they got to get the wide receivers open, running across the field, shallow routes, trying to create traffic jams for the defender who's covered him, because again, going down the field the other way, they just think the defensive backs are better for the Miami Dolphins than their wide receivers.
1:02 remaining. And if the Dolphins can come up with a stop here, Fiedler will have some time as well as all three of his timeouts. And the fans know it. 3rd and 18. Greasy 0 for his last 5, throwing. Completes this one to Scotty Montgomery, and Montgomery dragged down to the 28-yard line, and the Dolphins will stop the clock with 53 seconds to play. So Miami uses its first timeout here in the second half, and we'll take a timeout. Be right back. Pressure on Tom Ruin here to get a good kick away. Ogden and Ward are deep for Miami. Ward from the 23. 35. Oh, and got dropped hard at the 35-yard line by George Coghill, number 48.
Number 48, George Coghill.
George Coghill, Keith Burns, Ian Gold, they are the special team standouts for the Denver Broncos. And not only has the defense been playing better for the Broncos, but special teams. Oh, nice hit. Not giving up any cheap yards, or as coaches refer to it, the hidden yards in a football game, return yardage by the receiving team.
So Fiedler 65 yards away from the end zone. 41 seconds on the clock. There's a 2-man rush by the Broncos. Fiedler throws this side, and that's complete, just short of the 40-yard line to Travis Minor.
I've been waiting for that all day long, the 2-man rush. You can cover them down the field, but the problem is you can never get to the quarterback.
Fiedler calls timeout, stops the clock, 23 seconds to play, and we'll be back. Dave Wanstead patrolling the Miami sideline, and Fiedler coming back as you look at the numbers for Greasy and Fiedler.
Pretty tough. The one good number that both teams have said, the one good thing about those passing stats, no interceptions.
Travis Minor in the game. 2nd and 6, Miami down to 1 timeout.
Another two-man rush.
Bieber throws, and that's incomplete. Batted away by Jimmy Spencer.
Well, when you're dropping 9 guys back in pass coverage, Jimmy Spencer says, well, look, if I go for the knockdown of the pass, I don't have to worry. I've got a lot of defenders behind me to help me out, and good job, good anticipation, and a good play. A lot of goods there, wasn't there?
Good job.
Well, thank you.
3rd and 6. Another two-man rush. Fiedler throws over the middle, in and out of the hands of Chris Chambers. That would have been a first down inside the 45-yard line.
If I was preparing to play the Denver Broncos as an offensive player or coach, if you could tell your quarterback, when they're rushing 2 people, just move out of the pocket. Because when Jay Fiedler moves, now the pass defense breaks down, lets Chris Chambers get wide open, but he drops the pass.
10 seconds on the clock. Delta O'Neal deep. And penalty markers fly.
I don't know. I wouldn't try to make a living with that two-man rush in those
Ball start,
9.
prior to the snap, the right side of the line. Still 4th down.
Well, Johnny Greer's going to lay this one on the entire right side of the Miami offensive line. Turk gets it away. Delta O'Neal says he's going to leave this one alone and let the clock wind down here in the first half. Well, a field goal is all anyone has managed here at Pro Player Stadium, and Jason Elam got it. Boos cascade down from the stands as we check in with Armin Catane.
Coach, the Broncos told us they were looking for just this kind of game, low scoring with a turnover or 2. How do you turn this thing around?
Well, they're putting an awful lot of pressure on us. You know, they're doing a good job blitzing almost every down. And, you know, we've got to do a good job of hitting a couple on them. I mean, we've had opportunities and, you know, just missed. So we got to stay with the game plan. Hey, this is nothing foreign to us here. We play these type of games all the time.
All right, Coach. Greg?
All right, Armin, it was a missed opportunity. That catch by Chris Chambers might have developed a tying field goal.
Presents the Nextel Direct Connect Halftime Report. Nextel. Get right through.
Here at Pro Player Stadium, our halftime score, Denver 3 and Miami nothing. Both sides figured this would be a defensive tussle. Plenty of stars on both sides of the ball, but so far a Jason Elam field goal, and our coverage of the NFL continues after this word from your local station. Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium along with Phil Simms. I'm Greg Gumbel. 3-0 Denver at halftime, and you know, I thought both of us, Phil, expected some sort of a defensive lockdown, but I don't think anyone expected this.
Not this good, though. You know, I don't know if the I think it's a little bit of the offenses. We talk to coaches all the time, Greg. Dave Wanstead says it to us. You hear quarterbacks and you hear analysts on TV. Big plays lead to scores. To score a lot of points in the NFL, you got to have some big plays because it's too hard to drive down the field. So who can come up with them in the second half? And also, don't make a turnover because it's too close. A turnover could decide the outcome of the game.
We heard some of the booing from the fans, and you know that they would like to see some of the offensive production here at home that the Dolphins have shown on the road. But if you'll recall, the last time they were here at home, they were shut out by the Jets, and now they've been shut out here in the first half against Denver.
Yeah, the Dolphins go on the road. It's Air Fiedler and Air Gailey, you know, and they stay here at home. They just can't get the fans involved like they would like to.
Here's Chris Cole on the return, and he's hit hard at about the 23 or 24-yard line by Tommy Hendricks, number 51. Let's go down, Armin.
Thanks, Greg. Mike Shanahan, he's pretty pleased overall. He said we just have to eliminate a few little mistakes. I asked him, did he tell the team about the importance of this game as far as the rest of his season? He said, not really. He said, we've been talking about that all week. What Bill Romanowski said before the game was a make-or-break game for the Broncos as far as their confidence. Mike said, don't worry about it. We know it. Thanks a lot. Back to you.
Greasy gets started. Play fake to Davis. Throws to the far side of the field. Penalty marker is down. That pass is complete to Tony Carter out of the backfield, and Derek Rogers is there for the play.
Well, let's just pick it up where we left off. A lot of times, no scoring, just sloppy play by both teams. You commit fouls on offense, hard to overcome them.
The face mask call against Miami.
I was wrong. I thought it was going to be blocking downfield, but it's interesting, Greg. You talked about the Dolphins, the offense playing so well on the road.
Personal foul, face mask. Right cornerback on defense. First down.
Right cornerback might be Terry Cousin.
And as you look at the stats, what were you going to say, Phil?
Well, the thing is that Dave wants it, just talking about the crowd playing at home. They just can't seem to get the crowd here at the stadium behind them. And the big reason is they just don't come out and get those good starts.
Terrell Davis can't find a cutback lane. Zach Thomas and Brock Marion shut him down.
And, you know, and also I think it's Dave wants to made a good point. He says nowadays in this league, and we notice it when we go on the road, the crowd is not behind you as much as it used to be. So if you struggle early, the boos, they come out quick, no matter where you are and what team. And, of course, the Dolphins, they've had some success on the road on offense. And we've done those games in Indianapolis. The home crowd, they're quick to boo.
Davis, the lone back. He gets the handoff, shakes a tackler across the 40, out to the 43-yard line. Zach Thomas makes the stop, and that'll be well shy of first down yardage. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Zach and Terrell having a little, giving each other 5 after the play. Zach Thomas, he is supposed to make tackles for this defense. The job of the interior defensive lineman for Tim Bowens, Jermaine Haley, protect Zach Thomas. And when they do that, he makes the tackles.
Phil, you said he's supposed to make the tackles. He's supposed to make all of them. He came in with 101 tackles. Jason Taylor was the next closest with 57. On 3rd and 7, Greasy over the middle to Coleman out of the backfield across midfield and a first down. And Thomas is there for that tackle.
And to answer your question, Greg, yes, almost, because the design of the defense is for Zach Thomas to make the tackles, but this is where they're attacking on the pass. Underneath, get the running backs underneath, and Brian Greasy can find them.
And Zach Thomas has been busy. Takes on the blocker and then makes the tackle, and there's a stop over the middle. In fact, Zach Thomas is pretty much one of those do-it-all linebackers. Greasy to throw. And that's complete to the 42 or 41-yard line to Chris Cole, number 84. Once again, because it's worth reiterating, Rod Smith out of this game with 2 bad ankles. Keith Poole, the other starting wide receiver of late, has bruised ribs. So Greasy is throwing to Chris Cole, a second-year man out of Texas A&M. Phil McGagan, the rookie out of Maine. Scotty Montgomery, the second year out of Duke, and rookie Kevin Casper out of Iowa. Shaking the tackler is Davis, and Davis breaks through across the 30 to about the 27-yard line. Brock Marion made the stop.
To have a good running game and to get big plays, your running back just has to break tackles. Jermaine Haley misses it. The linebackers miss it. Watch Zach Thomas. He has a chance to bring Terrell Davis down. Nice block by Tony Carter. That's why he doesn't get there. But you know, the offensive lineman can't always knock him down. Sometimes the running back's got to break a tackle. That time Terrell Davis did it.
Terrell Davis, 13 carries, 62 yards. Mike Anderson in the game now, and Anderson inside the 25-yard line. And the ground game beginning to click now for the Denver Broncos.
And, you know, Greg, just to go back, you talk about Zach Thomas, to show you how important the people in front of him are, and he is supposed to make the tackles. What did Tim Bowens tell us the other day? Tim Bowens says 2 years ago, Zach Thomas goes to the Pro Bowl. He showed us a nice, beautiful Rolex watch he had with some diamonds on it. He says, this is what Zach bought me. And I said, he should. because that's why he goes to the Pro Bowl. Daryl Gardner and Tim Bowens were protecting him.
2nd and 7. Anderson inside the 20. And Brian Walker comes up for the stop.
Well, we saw a lot of this running by the Broncos Thanksgiving Day down in Dallas. The running backs just being sure, making that one cut, and then just running hard, as they would say, downhill. And when they mean downhill, that means going forward and getting us some yards. None of that side running, trying to dodge defenders. Run downhill, break some tackles, and pick up the yards.
Mike Anderson had 118 yards against Dallas Thanksgiving Day. 3rd and 1. Give to Anderson, bounces off a tackler, and surges forward for the first down.
Well, Zach Thomas does miss the tackle this time. He is gambling. He's trying to go for the hit that keeps Mike Anderson from getting the first down. He overruns it just a little bit. Watch again. Nobody gets out to block him. A free run.
First down. Denver. 20 touchdowns, 13 field goals, and 39 trips to the red zone. Terrell Davis with the handoff. Tries the right side, tripped up, and falls forward to the 15-yard line by Zach Thomas.
When I saw the tackle being made, I go, I wasn't even going to say it.
Why don't we just interject when it isn't Zach Thomas? That'll make it a lot easier.
Impressive drive by the Broncos, though. Good rhythm, good play calling. Going on a lot of quick counts before the defense can really dig in. And the runners getting that rest at halftime are coming out and really taking it to the tacklers.
The pass to the far side, and that's complete inside the 10-yard line. And out of bounds at the 7 is the tight end, Desmond Clark. Desmond Clark, who has made a pretty good name for himself catching touchdown passes, is number 3 among all NFL tight ends in receptions, along with his 3 TD catches this year. In the line of scrimmage is now the 6-yard line. Second and 8. Greasy gives to Davis. Davis spinning inside the 5 to the 4.
Wow, Terrell Davis, to me, even looks like a different runner now than he did in the first half. Kind of getting back to game speed, getting used to the contact, and just running hard. Good job of getting on the blocks by the offensive lineman. He knows the situation, needs 1 yard, runs in there and gets it.
And when we spoke with him last night, Phil, he was full of confidence. I was asking him if maybe he had lost some of that Superman feeling with all the nagging injuries, and he said, no, I went through this when I broke both my ankles my freshman year at Georgia. First and goal, Denver. Davis tries the left side and is stacked up at about the 3. Zach Thomas led the charge, Moreland Greenwood alongside.
Tackled by number 54, Zach Thomas, number 97, Ernest Grant.
Let's watch it one more time. Zach Thomas, nobody getting up to block him. So that tells you Jermaine Haley, Ernest Grant, both inside, taking up the blockers, not allowing anybody to get up to hit Zach Thomas.
8-minute drive now as Terrell Davis gets a breather on the sideline. Mike Anderson and Tony Carter in the backfield. Second and goal. Greasy play fakes, throws, end zone, touchdown. Desmond Clark.
Nice play fake by Brian Greasy. Desmond Clark goes inside. It makes the linebackers think that he's going to block. He doesn't. He turns and goes back to the corner of the end zone, wide open.
Jason Elam, NFL record 335 consecutive points after touchdown. There's number 336 in a row. So the first touchdown of the day goes Greasy to the end zone to Desmond Clark, and it's 10-0 Broncos. Desmond Clark on the receiving end of the 4-yard touchdown pass from Brian Greasy. Career high 20th for Greasy on the season. Has a touchdown pass in every game this season. It's 10-0 Denver, 6:41 to play in the third. And Elam kicks it away. This will be Chris Chambers from the 4. To the 20. Never sees the 25. 6:31 to play in the third. .6:31 to play in the third. Broncos have jumped out now to a 10-0 lead, and Zach Thomas talking to the defense on the sideline. Not at all pleased with that touchdown, and we'll show you why in a second. Lamar Smith wrapped up in the backfield by Eric Brown. Let's go back to that touchdown pass.
Yeah, let's just take a look. Desmond Clark, here's the tight end. He's going to go in the back of the end zone. Watch Scott Gallion, the linebacker, gets caught on the play-action fake. Nobody there to cover Desmond Clark. Zach Thomas sees it, tries to react, gets picked, but it doesn't matter. He was not going to get there, and Dave Wanstead just trying to encourage him as he comes off the field.
2nd and 11. Lamar Smith on the draw. And running room straight ahead, breaking tackles across the 30 out to the 33-yard line. And Lamar Smith with a 9-yard pickup makes it a 3rd and 2 for the Dolphins.
Well, the one thing Dave Wanstead said he wanted to do today, he wanted to give Lamar Smith some chances when he spreads the offense out. Usually when they spread out, it's always Travis Minor. Today, give Lamar Smith some of those chances just to get his confidence and, of course, to fool the defense, too.
8 carries for 27 yards on the day, 3rd and 2. Fake to Smith, Fiedler on the move, throws far sideline, and throws it out of bounds. Number 97, Keith Washington, had a bead on Fiedler.
Keith Washington,
Trevor Price.
I'm sorry, Craig, I want to talk so much, but Keith Washington did the proper thing. He did not attack Jay Fiedler. He waited, and that way when Fiedler made his moves, he ran with him and made him throw the football away.
Miami having problems on 3rd down, 1 for their last 7 on 3rd down conversion. Oh, what a booming kick from Turk. O'Neal all the way back to his 7-yard line. To the 15, and is hit hard and down by Sean Wooden. 59-yard punt and a 7-yard return. This is from Marv Levy, Vic Carucci, and Phil Simms. Get the inside scoop all week long. NFL.com or AOL keyword NFL.com. Terrell Davis, Tony Carter in the backfield as Denver goes on offense again. Davis straight ahead out to about the 18 or 19-yard line, and Brian Walker came up from his safety position.
Yeah, Brian Walker, number 45, just comes flying up to make the tackle. Now they're excited, but it looks like Terrell Davis does most of delivering the blow that time. Still picked up 4 yards.
2nd and 6. Play fake. Greasy throws to nobody on the far side of the field. We were talking about the Jets' last visit in here. Let's check in how they're doing today with Jim Nantz.
All right, thank you, Greg. And a little update here with New England getting on the board, Antoine Smith. And it's 13-7, Jets, 10 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
Phil, Armin, and I will be in Pittsburgh next Sunday as the Jets meet the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ron Coleman in the backfield, 3rd and 6, and the fans come alive for their Miami defense. Greasy almost slipped, throws complete, and that's short of a 1st down at the 25-yard line to Coleman. So the defense does its job. And the punting unit comes onto the field.
Well, the defense is getting the crowd excited. But one thing, the Denver offensive line, they are protecting Brian Greasy tremendous today. Giving him time to look for those running backs and short receivers over the middle.
Not a sack today. Rolling kicks. Ogden watches it sail out of bounds. And this is going to be terrific field position once again for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Pro Player Stadium. 3:23 to play here in the third quarter.
If you only knew.
Fiedler and the Dolphins from the 42-yard line. Fiedler dancing out of the pocket, coming left, looking, and throws, and that's complete, and the penalty marker is down. Lamar Smith across midfield and to the 45-yard line of the Broncos. 13-yard pickup, and the Broncos say this one's coming back.
Oh, yes. Illegal man downfield, no question. When there's a screen play, it takes the quarterback that long to throw it. Offensive linemen count to themselves, usually to 3, and then they take off. Took Jay Fiedler about 5 seconds to throw it.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 61, offense. Still first down.
The center, Tim Ruddy. We mentioned offensive line problems. Heath Irwin starting at left guard in place of Mark Dixon, considered by many to be the Dolphins' most consistent offensive lineman. Torn ankle ligaments, a broken right leg against Buffalo last week. So Dixon is out of the lineup. Irwin is in next to Ruddy. 1st and 15. Fiedler throws far side, and that's complete across midfield to Chris Chambers.
Nice throw by Jay Fiedler. But Greg, I just want to go back as we watch the replay. Chris Chambers, you got to honor his speed. That gives a cushion. Good throw by Jay Fiedler. But Mark Dixon, I just want to wish him well because it was a tough injury. He's battled a lot of injuries, and he's just trying to decide whether if he's going to come back and play more football. So whatever decision he makes, I hope it works out well for him.
On 2nd and 1. That one not getting far. John Mobley comes up for the stop, and no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd and 1. As we continue to move toward the end of the third quarter. Mark Dixon only in his 4th year out of Virginia. It would be a shame.
Here comes Ray Lucas into the game. The Dolphins do have the package in this week where they can run the option. He can hand the football off. They can throw a sprint out pass. There can be a play action pass. And he better hurry.
Play clock to 5. And Lucas has to call timeout. Running out of time, too long to get everything into the game. We'll be back. Your vote at NFL.com. On 3rd and 1. Fiedler looks both ways, and all alone downfield is James McKnight inside the 25. Fiedler looked left, right, and then found McKnight up the middle.
The defenders really attacking the short routes by the Dolphins, but watch James McKnight. Delth O'Neal just caught looking at the little pump fake by Jay Fiedler. Nobody runs down the field with James McKnight, and a good job by Jay Fiedler scanning the field and finding the open receiver.
25-yard pickup to the 24-yard line. Quick pass out to the side, and that's complete to Dedrick Ward. Ward out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. And that's close to another first down.
The Dolphins do so much of the screens or the quick flips to the wide receivers. You almost have to count it as part of the running game. Watch how quick Jay Fiedler gets rid of the football. Perfect throw, and Dedrick Ward takes it up the field quickly.
11 yards and a first down to the 13. Fiedler, shovel pass to Lamar Smith. Inside the 10, to the 5, and down at about the 4 or 3-yard line. Eric Brown tripped him up and prevented him from getting to the end zone. And with that, we come to the end of the third quarter. Denver 10, Miami nothing, but the Dolphins are threatening, and we'll come back after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on New York Jets are winning today. Miami looking to overtake Denver here and stay atop the AFC East. New England playing at New York, just off the page. Ray Lucas has come onto the field. Miami has gained 45 yards on their last 3 plays. As you look at Ray Lucas's numbers on the season. They're looking at a 2nd and 1 from the 3-yard line.
I'm always thinking, okay, you put Ray Lucas in there in this situation. I believe it's just a decoy. They're going to line up and hand it off.
And play clock running down, and Johnny Greer says we'll start it over.
Give me 25 more.
Well, if they're just going to hand it off, Lamar Smith is the man in the backfield. And he's in motion. Lucas on the keeper has a first down to about the 1.
You know what? That looks pretty simple. You go, well, big deal. He ran a quarterback sneak. But watch what Ray Lucas does that makes it so much more effective. He takes a step back. Now he gets a little separation between him and the offensive line and defensive line. And then allows him to get like a 1.5 yards instead of just a foot or 2, which most quarterbacks make the mistake of not doing.
Ray Lucas staying in the game. We asked Jay Fiedler about Ray Lucas coming in and out, and he says it's not a big deal because I don't make it a big deal.
That's right. Not crazy about it, but no use complaining because nobody's going to listen.
Lamar Smith tries the right side and stood up at the goal line, and a penalty marker flies.
Penalty flag of the play.
A holding penalty from the 1-yard line.
As you can imagine, Dave
Holding,
Wannstedt.
61, offense, still first down.
It's the center, Tim Ruddy. Dave Wannstedt less than pleased, and it's going to back them up. So Fiedler back onto the field now. First and goal from the 11.
Yeah, Greg, I'm just saying Dave Wannstedt, he doesn't know what to do. He's so upset about it. From the 1-yard line to have a holding call. Jay Fiedler back in the game.
From the shotgun, Fiedler throws, end zone, touchdown! Chris Chambers continues his 4th quarter heroics. That's 5 touchdown receptions for Chris Chambers this season, and 4 of them have come in the 4th quarter.
Chris Chambers against Al Wilson. Al Wilson is going, where is my help? There is none.
The extra point is good. 13:45 to play, and Miami has jumped right back into this thing. It's 10-7 Denver.
Watch Eric Brown. The Dolphins put him in a tough position. Here comes Chris Chambers, another receiver up the field. Which one does he take? Well, you can't make a decision fast enough in a situation like that.
Olindo Mare set to kick it away. That's Chris Cole, number 84, standing in his own goal line. Cole from the 5-yard line. 20. Still on his feet and now falls forward to about the 24-yard line. Miami Dolphins in the 4th quarter have outscored their opponents 58-12 in the last 6 games. Conversely, the 4th quarter has been an Achilles heel for the Denver Broncos, who've been outscored 55-3 in the 4th quarter of their last 4 games. Chris Chambers. He of the 11-yard touchdown reception, stretched on the sideline. Greasy gives to Davis, and Davis across the 25 to about the 27. Now, in the old days, which in terms of what we're talking here is just a couple of seasons ago, when it was a healthy Terrell Davis week in and week out, this would be the time of day where they would just simply give the ball to Terrell Davis and wear down the opposition.
You know what they would actually do, though, Greg? Not to disagree. They would fake it to Terrell Davis, and they would throw it to a wide open, tight end out in the flat. Shannon Sharp would get about 10 yards.
Pass to this side, and that's complete to Desmond Clark. Something like that?
Yeah, well, do you remember those days when I always used to say to the teams that were playing the Broncos, how can you let that play continue to keep working against you? And he goes, well, look, what are you going to do? We got to try to attack Terrell Davis, and if you don't, he beats you. So we do that. They fake it and throw it to an open receiver.
That's Chris Chambers, and as Armin Gatayan reported earlier, he did have some hamstring problems. First down, Denver. Davis brings it back this way. Stiff arm, 40, 35, and out of bounds. That's a mean stiff arm on Brock Marion.
Wow, Terrell Davis, two things. To the right side, breaks it back all the way to the left. Nice block. Patrick Hape takes Jason Taylor down inside, and Terrell Davis with the stiff arm against Brock Marion. And Brock Marion told me a few weeks ago, he says, look, playing safety, you can't be afraid of getting run over, because every once in a while you'll get run over. I guess that was one of those instances.
First down, Denver at the 46. Terrell Davis, right side, cuts it back across midfield. Talking about Miami trying to keep pace with the New York Jets. How about the Jets, Jim Nantz?
Well, the Jets, as you know, were up 13-0 at halftime, Greg, but things are tightening. The only carry of the day for Mark Edwards, he's in, and it's now 16-14 Jets as we start the fourth quarter. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim.
You know, to go to this Denver Broncos offense, something that gets overlooked by us, Greg, and a lot of people, the tight ends collectively have caught a lot of passes, and today they are blocking very well. Dwayne Carswell, Patrick Hape doing a terrific job.
Here's Mike Anderson, and Anderson with running room, twisting forward, and is very close to another first down. Ernest Grant, Brock Marion combined for the tackle.
To run the football effectively or on a continuing basis in this league, your tight ends have to be good blockers, because you always just can't run straight up in the middle. Every once in a while, when that runner goes up in there, there's nothing. He's got to break it to the outside, and that's where your tight end's got to be a good blocker.
Another Denver first down at the 44-yard line of the Dolphins.
What a good drive, picking up first downs, taking time off the clock, and changing field position.
And Greasy calls timeout with the play clock winding down to 2. We've wound down to 10:41 to play in regulation. Broncos by 3. 10:41 to play in the fourth quarter. Denver on the move. First down at the Miami 44. Karan Coleman jogs to the left and right and is hit hard at the 40-yard line. Let's go down Armin.
Greg, an indication of the increasing value of Chris Chambers to this football team, trying to get an injury report on his left side, which has an ice pack on it. It appears from the hit in the helmet and lower rib area, but the Dolphins don't want to release anything at the moment, but he's clearly in some pain. Back to you.
All right, Armin. Chambers, 3 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown today. 2nd and 6. Greasy, under pressure, throws, intercepted. Intercepted by Kenny Mixon. And Mixon is going to take it to the end zone for the touchdown.
The Miami Dolphins have not gotten to Brian Griese all day. That time they come with the blitz. He's protected pretty well. Nobody's open down the field. And then Brian Griese says, just tries to throw it away as he's getting rid of the football. Kenny Mixon makes a tremendous catch and returns it for a touchdown.
Only at the 2-yard line did his right hand converge on the football. 56 yards on the return. Mare's kick is good, and just like that, Miami jumps into the lead with 9:51 to play in the fourth. 14-10 Dolphins. Career high of 14 interceptions. You know Brian Griese can't wait to get back out on the field and try to make amends. Kenny Mixon, his first touchdown, his first interception. Chris Cole from the 16. Lost the football. It's loose inside the 10. The Dolphins say they have it. The officials have not yet agreed. They do now. Two turnovers in 15 seconds by the Denver Broncos. Scott Gallion, number 58, is the Dolphin who comes up with the football.
Chris Cole, the ball was just tackled. I couldn't see who made the hit.
Fourth quarter woes for the Broncos continue, and the fortunes for the Dolphins continue. Fiedler, quick pass to the flat, inside the 5, and out of bounds at about the 2 is Oronde Gadsden.
Well, that's some weapon the Dolphins have created with his quick throws to the wide receivers. They get in a situation like this, hard to run the football, just get it outside one-on-one. And a very good job by Denard Walker keeping Oronde Gadsden out of the end zone.
And with the ball at the 1-yard line, second and goal, onto the field comes Ray Lucas again for the short yardage situation. Play fake. Lucas throws, incomplete. And a penalty marker fly. Kavika Pittman was back and might have been back in coverage in the end zone.
Pass interference. Number 95, defense in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the half-yard line.
It was on Pittman.
A lot of times when you get down near the goal line, defensive linemen are assigned the tight end to cover him. In other words, they just hit him and try to hold on to him. And if it is a play-action pass, which it was that time, don't let him get out into the pass.
So now Miami, a first and goal from the half-yard line. Lamar Smith, Dion Dyer in the backfield. It's Smith. What a turnaround this game has made.
Third and short. Think back to it, Craig. It was third and short. Jay Fiedler found James McKnight on a big pass down the field.
Jay Fiedler celebrating Miami's third touchdown in 4 minutes and 46 seconds. Mare's kick is good. 8:59 to play in the fourth, and suddenly the Dolphins are in charge at 21-10.
Helping you with lots of projects, even finding the perfect holiday gear. Dremel. And by Turning Leaf Wine, handcrafted for perfect moments.
Miami Dolphins with 3 touchdowns in less than 5 minutes have turned things around completely here. 21-10, Dolphins in the lead. Mare set to kick it away to Chris Cole, who fumbled it away the last time he touched the football. Cole from the 9. 25. Forward to about the 27-yard line. This fourth quarter has been outstanding for the Miami Dolphins. Fiedler to Chris Chambers for the touchdown. And then the interception by Kenny Mixon, who returned 56 yards. And then Cole on the kickoff return lost the football. Gallion recovered, and they converted on the Lamar Smith plunge. And now Brian Griese has to go to work, updating those numbers we gave you a short while ago. The Dolphins having outscored their opponents 72-12 in the fourth quarter of their last 6 games. Griese over the middle, wide open and incomplete. Tony Carter was all by himself. Pass was a bit high. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Good play action fake. They have used this play quite a few times today with screens. Good throw by Brian Griese. Tony Carter's got to make that catch. They've thrown screens off it, thrown it down the field. That time trying to find the fullback open down the middle.
2nd and 10. Davis. 30. And Brock Marion coming up to hit him hard as he crossed the 30-yard line along with Moreland Greenwood after a 5-yard gain.
Still plenty of time for the Broncos. They need 2 scores. So what you do in situations like that, Mike Shanahan just trying to make it easy on Brian Griese and his receiving corps. Keep these 3rd down situations short so they don't have to go downfield to get open, and also the offensive linemen don't have to hold the pass rushers out too long.
On 3rd and 5, Karan Coleman in the backfield, and now he goes in motion. Griese over the middle. Zach Thomas is there to hit him at the 35-yard line. Scotty Montgomery made the catch. The question is, does he have the first down? He appears to.
Brian Griese, he sees Zach Thomas. He sticks it in there. And Greg, we've done many games. We talked about the Bronco receivers go over the middle and catch the football as well as anybody in the league. A lot of inside passing by the Denver Broncos.
Griese back on 1st down. And goes down, loose football. And it rolled right to a Denver Bronco. Trey Teague was on the ground, saw the football rolling toward him, and just curled it in.
Again, Brian Griese looking down the field, trying to find somebody open. Nobody there. Lorenzo Bromell gets in there, grabs around him, and Tim Bowens punches the football out.
Pressure on the quarterback by the Dolphin defense has significantly increased here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, because they know they got to pass.
2nd and 19. Griese throws, and that's complete to Chris Cole. Cole to the outside, knocked out of bounds just short of the 40-yard line. 6.5 minutes to play. Pickup of 11 on the play, and it'll be 3rd and 8. As we were talking during one of the breaks, Phil, he said it's amazing how Denver really had this game going its way.
Playing almost a perfect game until the long pass to James McKnight. But then coming back after the touchdown and having a terrific drive, Griese trying to get away from a sack, throws the interception, turns it around.
Griese throws incomplete. Karan Coleman was hit by Derek Rogers on the fly. And so Ruin comes onto the field to kick it away. Ogden and Ward await the kick. Nice kick by Ward. This is Deidre Ward letting it bounce inside the 10 and will roll into the end zone for the touchback. Just reminder, Sunday, the NFL on CBS delivers doubleheader action. First, Doug Flutie and the Chargers get after Donovan McNabb and the Eagles. The Tennessee Titans take on the Vikings in the late game. Many of you will join Phil Arman and myself as we see Vinny Testaverde and the Jets in Pittsburgh to take on Jerome Bettis and the Steelers. We check your local listings beginning with the NFL Today. Jets Pittsburgh promises to be all that you would expect it to be cracked up to be. 5:42 to play in the fourth. Miami with just 36 rushing yards on the day. The pressure on the running game now, and that one will lose yardage at the 15-yard line. Lamar Smith tripped up back there by Eric Brown. A loss of 4 makes it 2nd and 14.
I couldn't even get my thought out, Craig, is that not only the Dolphins have one little thing going for them in situations like this. You'd like to run the football, but they have all those quick screens of the wide receivers. They can take the place of your running game when you're just trying to eat up some clock.
Timeout. Denver. Number 2.
Denver uses its second timeout here in the second half to stop the clock with 5:25 to play. And Bill Romanowski takes a breather on the sideline.
Boy, the Broncos defense are going, shoot, we've almost played perfectly. Look up there, and they've given up 21 points today.
Mike Shanahan pleading a case to what appears to be a less than sympathetic official. Oh, Mike Shanahan, talking about how things were going Denver's way. He comes in here with a team decimated by injury and had the game under control. We hear coaches talk about turnovers over and over and over again.
Well, when you're talking about a team like the Denver Broncos right now, they're not explosive. They got to almost play the perfect game. The defense has to play well. The offense, they needed 13 plays to score. 2 turnovers is almost impossible to overcome.
On 2nd and 14 on the draw. Lamar Smith gets nowhere. Chris Chambers, by the way, a bruised left rib, will not return. So for the rest of the way, the Dolphins will have to do it without their fine rookie wide receiver. And Denver uses its 3rd and final timeout to stop the clock with 5:22 to play.
Well, unless Denver really gets the football back and scores quickly, it almost brings you to the fact that if they do score, they'll probably have the onside kick.
Mike Shanahan, who said, look, we come into this game at 6-5. We have 5 games left, and we have to win 4 of the last 5, or we're toast.
That's right. 9-7 is not going to make it this year from the AFC. And you look at the schedule, if they could have won the game here today, you'd say, oh, there is a chance that they could at least win 3, the remaining schedule. Couple of tough games, but they're at home against the Oakland Raiders. You think they'd have a very good chance of beating anybody at their stadium.
Smith and Dyer in the backfield, 3rd and long. The pitch for Lamar Smith. Cuts it back and doesn't get very much out to the 15-yard line, and they'll kick it away. So the clock continues to move. The Broncos are out of timeouts. And Matt Turk, as you see, got off a 59-yarder earlier today. Stands at his own goal line. That's Deltha O'Neal. Dolphins taking as much time off the clock as they can. This is not a very long kick at all. O'Neal lets it bounce at midfield. It takes an extra 15 yards, coming to rest close to the 35-yard line. 48-yard punt and no return. And for the best NFL coverage on the net, including expert analysis and live scoreboards, go to cbs.sportsline.com or your AOL keyword CBS Sportsline. Brian Greasy now fighting the clock. No timeouts. And a batch of inexperienced receivers as you take a look at Dad Bob Greasy sitting upstairs. .4:28 to play. Greasy steps up, throws over the middle. Terrell Davis out of the backfield to the 37-yard line, wrapped up by Terry Cousins. That's only a 1-yard pickup.
Well, I was going to say, Greg, somewhere along the line, I know the Denver Broncos have some plays designed to take a shot down the field to get some extra yards. And I think to do that now, you've got to look at one of these young wide receivers. It's just got to try to make a play deep down the field.
There is Rod Smith. 82 receptions for more than 1,000 yards, sidelined by the bad ankles. Greasy throws, and that's complete to Chris Cole. And Cole still on his feet out in midfield.
They have used that pass quite a few times today. Wide receiver goes up just a little bit, comes across the formation. Chris Cole's got a couple catches that way. Kevin Casper caught 1-2.
Greasy over the 100-yard mark throwing today. This time the tight end, Desmond Clark, and he's out of bounds inside the 40. .13 yards and another Denver first down. 3:22 on the clock. Remember, Denver out of timeouts and in danger of falling to 6-6 on the season. Steps up, throws over the middle, and just a little behind Karan Coleman. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, as Brian Greasy drops back, I'm thinking, well, let me play quarterback here a little. So I'm looking down the field, trying to find a spot where he could throw the football. There was no spot to throw the football. So he did the right thing, tries to throw a safe pass, force it in there to pick up a few yards over the middle. Goes incomplete.
You know, it's a tough enough prospect, Phil, to try to get critical yardage and late touchdowns with experienced guys like Rod Smith and Ed McCaffrey. Not much experience in the wide receiver position here today for Denver. Greasy throws, and that's complete inside the 30, inside the 25 to Matt Dominguez, the rookie out of Sam Houston State. 13 yards and another first down as we come up on 3 minutes to play.
Well, you kind of see the problem, though, Greg. Nice job of moving the football, but the short passes are tearing the clock up.
The give is to Coleman. Coleman to the 20.
And now, really, no matter what, Denver, you might as well just kind of take your time, make sure you make good plays. Because even if you score, you're going to definitely have the onside kick now.
On 2nd and 5, Greasy throws for the end zone. It is incomplete. Intended for number 82, Kevin Casper. And Surtain was with him stride for stride.
Patrick Surtain watches technique, turns at the right time, and just puts his body up against Kevin Casper. No chance for a reception when you play defense like that. Good job by Casper just breaking it up.
From the 20. 3rd and 5. Incomplete. Greasy hit from behind. Jason Taylor was in on the quarterback.
Jason Taylor, number 99, goes up the field, then comes underneath.
And we're looking at 4th and 5.
I don't know. See, you could actually kick a field goal here in this situation, make it 21-13, onside kick, try to score the touchdown and get 2. Greasy,
quick drop, batted down at the line of scrimmage.
Not to be a second guesser, but I think my decision would have been to kick the field goal and then try to score the touchdown with your next possession if you got it.
David Bowens got his hand on the pass and batted it down. We remind you, coming up on the Subway post-game show. Join Jim Nantz and company for all the scores and highlights and the latest NFL news. It's coming up on the Subway post-game show. The Broncos now out of timeouts. No way to stop the clock. 2:18 to play. We will get a stoppage at the 2-minute warning. Lamar Smith out to the 28, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 8-yard pickup for Lamar Smith, and as we come to 2 minutes to play, 21-10 Dolphins. Here at Pro Player Stadium, the Denver Broncos came in a hurting bunch, but hung in tough and had the lead for most of the day until things turned in the fourth quarter. The Miami defense stepped up, the offense did its share, and Miami leads at 21-10 with 2 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. On 2nd and 2, Lamar Smith pulls his way across the 30-yard line for a first down. Four-yard pickup, and on the sideline, an obviously frustrated Brian Greasy, victimized by the Kenny Mixon interception.
Yeah, to play such a good, solid game today at quarterback, Brian Greasy just trying to avoid a sack, trying to do the right thing for his team. Extremely unlucky when he throws an interception like that to Kenny Mixon. And look at Jay Fiedler's numbers. Nothing outstanding. No turnovers, though. 1 touchdown. Did a good job directing his offense today. And as Jay Fiedler said to us the other day, we were talking about the quarterback controversy down here, his status and all that, and he goes, hey, we're 7-3. And I think that answered it all. Now they're 8-3. And Jay Fiedler has had a big part in why the Dolphins are 8-3.
Reason for optimism on the Denver side of the ball. Terrell Davis, 20 carries, 97 yards in his first action in 3 weeks. And the Broncos unable to stop the clock here as Fiedler takes another snap and puts this one to bed for the Miami Dolphins. 4 minutes and 46 seconds early in the fourth quarter, Miami scored 3 touchdowns. A Fiedler pass, an interception return by Kenny Mixon, and the 1-yard rushing touchdown by Lamar Smith. And it turned this from a losing proposition to now, for the Miami Dolphins, an 8-3 record and at least a share of the lead in the AFC East. For Phil Simms and Arm Katayan, I'm Craig Gumbel. So long from Pro Player Stadium in Miami. Our final score: the Denver Broncos fall to Miami by a score of 21-10. We'll be sending you off to Jim Nantz and company in New York for the Subway postgame show. Comes your way right after these messages. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.